June 3rd today. I'm going to do a quick garden tour. Probably not so quick. See, Jay's trying to put the tiller away, so it's a little noisy. We got the prototype done for the tomato trellises, which seems to be working really well. I'm trying a lower and lean method this year, which is really cool. If you're not familiar with it, look it up on YouTube. I highly recommend checking it out. So I think it'll help us continue to grow. The tomatoes did get burned from the big cold spell we had. The rain actually knocked them over, and you'll see that in the lower remaining beds back there. So I trellised them after we had that big storm. Most of them had fallen over. We're laying in the dirt for a day while it was 40 and rainy and high winds, which is not ideal. But this method of trellising makes sure that you prune really well. I got the tomato clips there. We've got string staked down to the dirt down there, and we'll just continue to trellis up the string. And when the tomato reaches up to here, I should, in a couple days or so, I should have the clips that they're called tomahawks, or I think I actually ordered the ones with spools on them. But basically you just let out string down when the tomato grows up. You let it down, and then I'll actually move the hook over to here. And so what happens is it's planted here, but this stem will actually start draping all the way around, and we'll just keep moving them clockwise around the bed, probably every couple weeks or so. So that will be fun to do. I have seen it done in greenhouses before, and it seems like it would work really well. These are indeterminate big beef tomatoes. All of these that I've planted are indeterminate, which means they will continue to grow for a non-determined amount of time and will produce a non-determined amount of fruit, versus like a Roma or some of the smaller like tomatoes that are really good for pots. Those will not need to continue to grow. So this will grow until the frost basically kills them, or blight. Some birdies barking a lot. These are some of the Cherokee carbons. They also, some of them got some nasty burns, so I'll be pruning those back. But I did want to show you, there's a bunch of the double flowers, which is a normal thing for the heirlooms, which means that they'll have like a much bigger double tomato. It would be two tomatoes growing. So you'll see some of the carrots are now coming up that I've done. I planted these, I don't remember, a week ago maybe, 2 weeks ago. They are the short carrots, so they won't bother the deep roots of the tomatoes, but they'll actually add nitrogen in. Also have all sorts of other things. I think some of this is basil, some I think lettuces, bok choys, radishes. This is the bok choy here. But yeah, you can see the tomatoes. I just restaked them up. There's a good example of let's see if it'll focus, a double tomato right there. The marigolds that I started from seed are now starting to bloom, which is great. I've put a bunch of lettuce all around from the lettuce starts. This is the biggest tomato we have right now. It's not bad size. But yeah, you can see like this one actually cracked. This is a sucker though, so I'm not that worried. This is the main stem. So I need to continue to focus on this stem and doing the lower and lean method. Once we get the trellis up, hopefully in the next week, we'll actually go back and trim all of those. But you don't want to trim the top suckers until you have it trellised up past that point. So if you break up something past that point, you have a second stem that you can take over as your main stem. I did buy some Mexican oregano or spicy oregano, so I have 3 plants that are put throughout the beds. There's some borage, hopefully help with keeping some of the tomato worms away. bunch of lettuce starts. They're looking really yellow on the screen, I'm realizing. These are romaine, and they are a lighter green in general, but they probably need some nutrients here. These were some bok choy starts that I probably let go too long in there. You can see, so I used some bamboo stakes that were just from the invasive bamboo we have in the yard from last year's. And they're not very strong. They do okay, but they're not great. So when we had that big storm, they definitely got knocked over. Oh, some thunder. Not sure you can hear that. Over here, got a bunch of grow bags. Here's the summer squash. This will be the second set of summer squash. Oh, there's a potato bug. Not ideal, but not surprising. Let's see. So we will have summer squash probably tomorrow, I would think. They are small, but they're very good. The grow bag cucumbers actually have little baby cucumbers, which is fun. Here's some more. This guy is, I need to put a trellis in here. The carrots are doing fantastic. See if I can pick one. Pretty much snacking on these daily. Putting them in our salads. Here's another set of carrots, and actually when they get about this tall, I'll plant another bag, so that's on the list for this weekend. Some more lettuce. Most of these peppers back here are guajillos, I think. We've got the peas. Our pollinator whiskey barrels are doing pretty well. And here's our potatoes. These are red chieftain potatoes. These are ones I planted first. And then they have peas around the outside here, bacopa, and a little bit of spinach. I think the spinach is going to get crowded out way too fast before it comes up. These are the dark red Norwood early tomato, or sorry, potato. Sorry, just heard more thunder. Distracted me here. We've got beans around the outside of this one. The beans are kind of funky looking, so I'm not sure they'll do really well in here, but I'm going to try and see how they come out. But these potatoes should be pretty quick to harvest. And I did some research finding out when I can harvest some new potatoes. And they say about 2 weeks after the flowers, you can start harvesting them for those little, the little tiny little baby new potatoes. So you maybe harvest like a corner, one plant maybe just for eating right away, and then let the others continue to grow. Over here, some of the seed starts are coming up. Let's see, you can see here. So kale and spinach. So we'll keep an eye on those. And these are wildflowers. So again, trying to help with the pollinators. But tomorrow, hopefully, FedEx is going to be delivering the rest of our raised beds. They've been delayed all week here in Mass, like, you know, maybe half an hour away from us, 45 minutes away from us, but they wouldn't even let us come pick them up. So I guess they're way behind on the freight delivery. So that will help fill out the remaining space here. The good news is that when my dad was here with Jay, they were able to get the cattle panels for our cucumber and bean trellis. So that's exciting. We've got the PVC for the rest of the tomato trellises. So we'll hopefully get those last 3 trellises in. And then for the tall beds that we're getting, we'll have 2 more tomato beds. But I think I might even do shorter trellises for the next ones. So let me go in the greenhouse and give you an update there. Okay, so it started raining, so I closed the sides of the greenhouse quick, but we are coming closer towards the end of this top raised bed. This one, we've been eating salads since mid-April. Beets are doing really well in here. Onions are doing well. Still getting some lettuce spinach all bolted, and carrots were eating through quickly. I trellised up the 2 tomatoes in here. So big beef on the side here, and then Cherokee carbon towards the center. We've got the hot peppers are now all hardened off, so there's a couple sunspots, but not too bad. And we started working on the spacing of what they'll look like once planted in here. Back here, we're gonna put, I think, 2 tubs. All the stuff back here will actually get moved out. And here's the other side of peppers. I think they're looking pretty good overall, considering we started, I think, 99% of these from seed in our basement. So, and we never actually seeded super hots before, so that was kind of a fun experience. A little difficult to get them to germinate sometimes. But we have, let's see, we've got 2 red ties, 2 yellow ties. There's 3 Burmese birds here right now, although I think that one's going to get moved out. These are the peach Scotch bonnet. This one was a little bit mad about the wind today, so it was turned up a little bit. But yeah, so this is a peach Scotch bonnet, as well as this guy here. 2 peri-peris. And then we've got the habaneros. These are orange habaneros. A super chili in the back, a cayenne, and an Anaheim. We will have about 10 cayennes out in one of the main gardens. These are my garlic scapes, which I'm really, really excited about right now. So they are growing fast, and as they start curling around, you can see, so this is pretty open still, but back here, you can see that it's starting to curl around on a few of those. We will be able to start harvesting the garlic scapes and eating those, and then from there we will almost be ready to harvest this garlic, which is so exciting. Usually I'm used to harvesting garlic in I think it's like July, and we'll probably be harvesting a month early, having it here in the greenhouse. Here's a few peppers. We did buy these guys from Honeyfield Farms up in Vermont, which is where we got most of our peppers last year as well. So those 2 are the Fatalis, and then here's the 2 ghosts that we bought. These 2, the 7-pot Primo and the Sugar Rush, are ones that we started from seed that just aren't growing very well. So I probably need to, I'm guessing the dirt is too compact around their roots. These are the extra tomatoes we have left as well. So there's a lot going on in here, but overall I moved the shelf, we got the table out of here, we cleaned the walkway. There's still some cleanup to do, but it is almost ready for planting this weekend, which I am so excited about. Oh, the other thing is I got the other vermicompost in. So this is, I think it's like a 2.5 or a 3 gallon. You can see the holes in there. I found some worms in the compost. We added compost to this. We also added a organic granular fertilizer. We watered that in, and I've been continuing to water this these beds in probably every 3 days or so they don't dry out. So they'll be ready for all these wonderful peppers. And since we brought these peppers out, I think it was on Monday that we brought these out, we covered them with frost cloth. We do have the 40% shade cloth on. So at this point, because they're staying in here, I don't need to harden them off any further than what we've already done. So that is the inside the greenhouse update. Let me see if I can show you the big field garden. quickly before it rains anymore. So I'm out here in the field garden now. So some things are doing really well, some need some help. And so go through this. I did plant sunflowers back here. This is on the north end of the garden. The tomatoes out here got hammered also. We're all in the dirt, so I've cleaned those up, trimmed them down. Even though they're Romas, I did actually trim the bottoms of them. And I put this cage on. These are the upside down heavy duty cages. They're not the normal tomato cages. So they're much stronger. They should last a lot longer. But normally I wouldn't use the tomato cages. Here's our summer squash hill. These are our pumpkins. Have our first true leaf, which is exciting. And over there, that hill is watermelon. Then we have some extra big beefs, which are indeterminate, which I'm just gonna let go wild here. Some more sunflowers here, and then a row here that we planted. And then the tomatillos. The tomatillos were not happy with the cold weather we had. So I need to come and prune all these sad leaves off, and then I'll also probably fertilize quite a bit. I also was able to plant onions all the way around this area, and then around the corn on the two edges. So the east side that gets the morning sun, and the west side, the back side of that row, that gets the west side sun. I think you've already seen that we've gotten the marigolds in as well. So we did have a deer come through here. You can kind of see it's very clear footprints. Pretty small, I think. It didn't actually eat anything, it just walked through the garden. So I had to pick up a couple corn that it knocked over. But for the most part, the corn's been doing fine. Not too much animal activity. See, this was another footprint. I thought it was a hole at first. But yeah, this is the silver queen corn that I started early. And then here are the silver queen we started here in the ground. So we'll have to hill these a little bit. Those are the incredible. Again, started early to seeded in the ground. And then over the next row, we have sugar buns, half of it, and delectable, half of it. And then we did this whole row. I seeded, so 2 weeks after, I seeded that this past weekend with delectable, which is supposed to be an absolute amazing. I think it was delectable, but now maybe it's sugar rum. Either way, Jay told me which one I was supposed to plant, and I planted it, and it's supposed to be absolutely amazing. So we'll have to continue to water and make sure that this comes up. This is supposed to have, whatever variety it was, supposed to have a 2-week life on the stalk and not overripe, which is amazing when you're just harvesting for yourself and planning to do all the freezing. So that's exciting. And then back here is actually the dent corn. Yes, it's a risk having the dent corn next to the sweet corn, but we figured we'd try it. The worst case scenario, some of the sweet corn gets a few bad kernels, but we're fine with that. So this is Bloody Butcher is the name of it. We started all of this from seed. So there's a lot less of those in general, but their stalks will be anywhere from 10 to 14 feet tall, they said, and could have 3 ears per. So even though there's only, I think, 60 something seeds, it's still going to be quite a bit of corn for just the two of us. So that is the update down here.